But before we really begin, I felt that it was, I guess, necessary or perhaps important for me as your pastor to say a few words about what has transpired in this last week here in our country. Now, usually in this service that would honor veterans, I would appear in uniform. But because the comments or the remarks I'm about to make can be considered quasi-political, I felt it best not to appear in uniform so as not to violate any military or civil law. But I do have my hardware on here as a remembrance. So I think it's important for us to remember that in every election, there are those who win and there are those who lose, although I don't like the word lose. There are those who don't win. How's that? I think that's maybe a better term. By all accounts, we have a new president and vice president-elect, and I wish them well and offer prayers for their every success. As someone said to me 4 years ago, the president's success is the success of our country. Now, I sure hope that they mean it. And as I'm always reminded, the president is the president of everyone in the United States, not just those who voted for him. But the election of a new president and vice president will not change America overnight. In fact, the change has just begun. Now, I know this may sound trite, but it is my firm belief that the only way we can fix what has gone wrong is by all of us working together. Now, I know there's some on both sides that strive to keep the divisions alive. I know there's some on both sides that want the other side to pay. But I say this to all of us, and I hope we all hear this and understand this. Enough is enough. It was not one side that brought us to this point, and it will not be one side that gets us out of it. All of us are Americans, no matter what party we belong to or what candidate we supported. America is at its best when there is loyal opposition and when we all come together. Now, I have to repent for the part that I have played in the division that exists in this country and to do penance for that part that I have played. I would hope that all of us can recognize our own failings and recognize that we, at times, have been part of that division. For whatever our role was, large or small, let us ask for forgiveness and work towards unity rather than division. True healing can only begin when we recognize the part that we have played and strive to change our behavior. Now, I do recognize that many people have been hurt, and I understand it will take time for that hurt to be healed. But we have to start at some point. We have to start at some point to bind up and heal the wounds and to be sensitive to those who have been hurt and continue to hold them in our prayers. Yesterday, someone asked me if I would be seeking unity if the election had gone the other way. And my response was, I certainly hope so. Otherwise, I would be a hypocrite. And to be honest with you, the church has enough hypocrites right now. It saddens me to see fellow clergy, myself included, adding to the division of this nation. Now, as many of you know, I was not ordained in the United Church of Christ. I was ordained in another denomination. But I join with my clergy colleagues each year to renew those promises that we made at our ordinations, two of which are the following. Will you be zealous in maintaining both the truth of the gospel and the peace of the church, speaking the truth in love? And will you seek to regard all people with equal love and concern and undertake to minister impartially to the needs of all? One of the church's primary missions is to seek reconciliation of all people. And as you have heard me say countless times before, to love everyone regardless of what side they happen to be on. The church needs to be the beacon of light that shines in the darkness and that helps bring people together. But we have to have unity inside. before we can ever hope to have unity outside. However, there's always a however, right? There's always a however. However, my desire to seek unity does not mean that I will not to continue to fight for what I believe is right, and that I will stop speaking for those who have no voice and for those on the margins. I am called to be the voice regardless of who the president is. And the importance of that call did not end with an election. Now, one of the pictures that speaks the most to me is a picture of two old veterans reaching across a stone wall and shaking hands. One wore blue and one wore gray, and the place was Gettysburg, Pennsylvania. Now, although it was not easy, and much of what divided us then still divides us now, but we somehow managed to come together at that point in history and start to heal the wounds that the war had caused. As Abraham Lincoln said in his second inaugural address, with malice toward no one, with charity for all, with firmness in the right as God gives us to see the right, let us strive on to finish the work we are in to bind up the nation's wounds, to care for him who shall have borne the battle, and for his widow and orphan, and to do all which may achieve and cherish a just and lasting peace among ourselves and with all nations. To those celebrating today, take your victory lap, but remember, it's one lap, and there's work to be done. To those of you who are not feeling great this morning, I offer you my hand in fellowship, in friendship, and although I'm celebrating, my hand is here and I'm here to help you, and also to say to you, take your time, but we need you. We need you to join us, to join everyone, to help us bring us back together again. At the end of the service this morning, we'll sing the great hymn, America the Beautiful. And there's this line somewhere in the middle. America, America, God mend thine every flaw. Confirm thy soul in self-control, thy liberty in law. America is not perfect. And the thing that makes America great is that we're not finished yet. There's still more to come. America is difficult, but America is worth fighting for. So my prayer today is for unity, and my prayer today is for peace. I pray for President Trump. I pray for Vice President Pence as they begin the peaceful transfer of power, and for President-elect Biden and for Vice President-elect Harris as they take up the mantle of leadership. May God bless us all, and may God bless America.